Okay, tonight we're going to make quick refrigerator pickles. And why would you want to make quick refrigerator pickles? Because they taste really good and they're really quick. And they're really healthy. They're really good for you. So as the class goes on, we're going to talk about some of the ingredients and what makes them so really good to nourish every cell of your body. And I'm just going to give you a quick little demo. It doesn't look like anybody's going to make pickles with me. So I'm just going to give you a really quick demo on how easy they are to make. I have a chef that I love to follow, and her name is Chef Cynthia Louise, and she's from New Zealand, so she's got that really cool accent. But what's even cooler is she lives in Bali, and she's got this amazing kitchen. So I always love to watch her videos. So I thought I would just open by kind of copying what Chef Cynthia does to show you how easy and quick refrigerator pickles are. Has anybody made refrigerator pickles before? I know Kimberly and Kathy. Yeah, Mom and Peggy did not. Yeah, so they're really easy. And I think I sent a little story in the email that I sent out a couple of days ago that Julie Muhily and I were going to our very first convention, and we were in downtown Salt Lake City, and we wandered through a farmer's market right there in downtown. And we could hear a lot of noise and laughter. We walked around the corner, and they were taking their vegetables from the farmer's market and bringing them over to this other table where they were making quick refrigerator pickles. And I thought it was such a great idea to do it right there at the farmer's market. And I said to Julie, I'm totally bringing that back to Reno. That's such a great idea. So we did it. We did it in several locations, and we had a lot of fun doing it. And we added essential oils to give a little kick of flavor to the brine, and it worked out really well. So I'm going to make a refrigerator pickle for you today with, I have to change my camera. I'm going to do just some cucumber slices. These are cucumbers that I got at the farmer's market over the weekend. So we're going to use those. And then I have a bit of fresh dill. And I'm going to be using apple cider vinegar for these particular pickles. Apple cider vinegar with the mother is a very good type of apple cider vinegar to use. Has anybody used this particular brand, the Sprague's apple cider vinegar? I have. Yeah. So Kathy, why do you decide to use this one?
Because it's the healthiest option, in my opinion. And you would know better why that is, but I guessed it.
Yes, you absolutely guessed right. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's a really good one because it's got these little floaters and sediment in there. And what that is it's called the mother, and it's a type of good bacteria. And so it nourishes you, the good bacteria that's in your gut. And we have good bacteria and bad bacteria, and we want to really feed the good bacteria so that you can have a healthy digestive system, but also so you can have beautiful skin and radiant energy. So all that. So I'm going to take about a half a cup of apple cider vinegar. And then I have here measured out already a third of a cup of coconut sugar. And I like the coconut sugar because it's lower on the glycemic index. So that means it's not going to spike your blood sugar. So, and it tastes really good. So if you like sugar in your coffee, I think that's a really great sugar to use. And I'm just going to mix that together until it dissolves. And really, that's about all there is to it. I'm going to add a little bit of that Redmond salt that we talked about, Kathy, from our last class that we did together, which I have to tell you, I've made that salad dressing 3 times. I'm on the 3rd mason jar of that salad dressing.
It's so delicious.
It's awesome. And I can't always get good peaches, but the strawberries have been really good. So I've been using that in my salad. It's delicious.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so I've just mixed those 2 together. And I'm going to add for my essential oil, pink pepper. And we have 2 sources for pink pepper. One of them is in Kenya, and then the other one is in Peru. And I'm just going to use this little trick that Kathy taught us last week to measure it into a spoon, so that if 2 drops come out, then I'm not committing myself to putting 2 drops of essential oil in my recipe. So that's just 1 drop. And I like this pink pepper because it's got kind of a fruity, peppery taste. And so I thought it would complement the apple cider vinegar, which is made with apples that are fermented. And it is a really healthy vinegar. You can use that to help you if you have an upset stomach, or if you have phlegm, or if you've got some immune issues. It's a really good one to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix those up. And then I'm going to get a couple of small jars. And for these particular pickles, I really like a wide mouth jar because the pickles are kind of pretty to look at from the top, but not so pretty to look at from the sides. So I'm just going to put a few in because, of course, the apple cider vinegar and the coconut sugar are both brown. So I'm just going to pack those in there. And I'm going to also put, maybe I'll add just a little bit of fresh dill because it's pretty. So I'll put that in there. And then I'm going to take my mixture and just pour that in. And you have just made your first quick refrigerator pickle. I have a little muddler that I like to use just to kind of push it into the jar because you want your produce to be inside the jar, inside the liquid. And I've used an organic cucumber. Cucumbers are on that, you know, there's a list, that Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. Have you ever heard about that list before? So there are foods that are ideally purchased as organic foods, and then there are other foods that you can kind of get away with buying them not organic. And cucumber is definitely one that you want to get if you can find it, but as an organic produce. And that's because it's got a lot of water in it and grows right on the soil. And so it's really susceptible to absorbing a lot of pesticides and herbicides. And if you buy cucumbers from the grocery store and they have that little wax on the outside, has anybody ever made a little bath with the lemon essential oil in it to clean? Yeah, just really great way to clean the cucumber of that wax. So how quick is that? That's a quick refrigerator pickle. I'm just going to put that in my refrigerator. So you can see it's just really brown on the outside, but if I open it up from the top, I just think that it looks really pretty when you open it. So that's why I like to use that wide mouth jar. So it'll stay in the refrigerator for about 2 weeks, but you should start eating it right away. Avoid the temptation to take your fingers into the jar, but I like to use these little tongs. You don't want to take your fingers in there because your fingers have a little bacteria on them. And so if you use just a little tongue, it'll keep the cucumbers nice and fresh and they'll last a little bit longer. Sound good? So cucumbers are great. Yeah, cucumbers are great. They're great for your vision. They're helping you maintain really healthy vision, avoiding that degenerative macular disease that's so awful. And it's a really great antioxidant. So it's good for heart health too. And of course, it's going to be a low on that glycemic index again. So you don't have to worry about giving yourself a big sugar rush, as much as we do love those from time to time, right? And I just love getting a beautiful piece of pastry from Karen. Right? It's a real treat, but it's not something that I want to do every day. So that's that one. So let me go ahead and put that aside. And
Wendy, who are you kidding? You wish you could go to Parent every day. You just know.
I do. I would love to go to Parent every day. You know what it is? It's the ambiance of that place.
I know.
It's so clean and beautiful. And I mean, I would never eat all those pastries, but I love to look at them. Some of them have gold leaf on the pastries. Did you see that? They have gold leaf on them. And I mean, they're just beautiful. They're beautiful. Okay, so let's move on. Let's do another one. So this is the one that you have the recipe for. I'm just going to kind of move things over onto the side. So again, this is the one that Kathy and Kathy did it. Kimberly's done it and Julie did it. We made the refrigerator pickles at the cooking gallery, but I'm going to make a little bit of a change. Instead of using the white sugar, I've decided to try monk fruit. Has anybody used monk fruit before?
Yep.
Yeah, you have.
Not for pickles, but
Yeah,
Not
so I
for
thought
pickles.
but I've used it to make my matcha green tea.
Oh, does yours have that sweetener erythritol? Does yours have erythritol in it?
Those are both good. Erythritol sounds like a chemical, bad, like it's bad for you, but it's actually a really good, if you're watching your glycemic index, it's a really good sweetener.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I learned too, because I was thinking, oh, what's that chemical? I don't know if I want to use that. But evidently it's a corn sugar alcohol. And this particular brand is a non-GMO, so you don't have to worry about that. And I guess the monk fruit on its own is really, really sugary. It's way sweeter than table sugar. And so the erythritol, I have to keep looking at it to see how to say it. The erythritol is kind of balancing that super sweetness from the monk fruit. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and add that to, I've got 1¼ cups of rice vinegar, and I chose to use the rice vinegar because it's got a nice mellow flavor. I love rice vinegar. If you do any canning, it's not recommended to use it for canning. I guess it's just not acidic enough. So this is a lower on the acidic level. And I have some water in here, 2 cups of water. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, the monk fruit, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of kosher salt. And I could add black peppercorns. I could add a garlic clove, which I actually have. Pop that in there. And I'm going to stir this up until that sugar dissolves. And then just like we talked about last week, if you are going to add essential oils, you want to make sure you're adding it to the liquid. And so how easy to do that with the pickle brine. What we did when we had the big pickle picker parties at the cooking gallery is I made up these big jugs. You know, those, the ones that have a little spigot, you could put lemonade in them and have a spigot. And so that's how we did it with the brine. And so anybody that was coming through the pickle picker party would pick out their vegetables, and then they would go pick out what brine they wanted. And we had a few different setups. And then
It was really
them.
fun.
It was great.
It was really fun. You set it up so easily. I mean, it just made it a really nice experience to take, to go and do it. And having the brine in the pitchers made it easy for everybody to, you know, get it poured in and prep their veggies.
Yeah, it really worked out. And that was such a pretty spot too. That cooking gallery was pretty. All right, I'm going to do 10 drops. Ready? Oh, I should probably change my camera angle.
No, you did. It was gorgeous. That was such a fun event. Everybody had so much fun and really enjoyed the end product too.
Yeah, they're yummy. And I love to include the essential oils. They just add such a nice little fresh blast of flavor. And I'm also going to add black pepper to this one. I'm going to put 2 drops.
Wendy, what was the first one you put in 10 drops of?
Wild orange.
Okay.
Because, you know, there's never enough citrus, right? So that's all I need to do with my brine. You could add pepper flakes to this one. You could add black peppercorns. You could add celery seed. And I even thought we have a celery seed essential oil now, which would be kind of fun to put in there too. Yeah. Okay, so then somewhere around here, I have a jar. Oh, here it is. So I'm just going to pop in some of these adorable little mini carrots that I got at the farmer's market the other day. I'm just going to stand those right in. And of course, you can mix up your vegetables. You could put green beans in here, sliced fennel.
Radishes.
Red onions are good. So I'm just going to pop those in there. And I already have my brine mixed up. And so all I do is just add that right in there. And again, just fill it right up to the top. And I did get a few of the fennel slices, so I thought I'll just pop some of those in there. Yes. I love fennel.
Me too.
Oh, roasted with halibut. Oh my God, so good. Kimberly, you had some amazing fish dinners when you were away.
Yes, and one of them was with fennel. That octopus salad, the squid salad, Kathy.
Oh,
yes.
Calamari with big chunks of fennel, and oh my God, it was so delicious.
I'm just gonna stuff that in there. So speaking of fennel, I just went ahead and put some of the fennel fronds in there. And I'm just gonna tap that down, make sure everybody's covered with the water, and put a little lid on there. And this one is actually, it's a little bit prettier because of the clear brine. And it's beautiful. And they're really nice to give as a gift. I remember, I don't know, talking about pickles that I'd made with a neighbor, and she was having a hard time. Her husband was unwell. So I brought over some pickles and she couldn't have been happier. It's amazing the little things that we do that can make people really happy, right? So how easy is that? It's a pickle picker party. You could go ahead and set up all of these ingredients, have some friends over, and everybody can explore different flavorings for the brine. I also thought it would be fun to show you how they process the pink pepper. So would you mind if I just took a moment and shared my screen so you can see what that looks like? Say yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, Miss Wendy, of course.
While
Let's see if
you're
I can-
getting that set up, I had a catering chef in Montana that used to pickle all sorts of things that we would use on antipasti platters and things. And she pickled red grapes. And it sounds really odd, but she used like a bread and butter pickle brine that made the grapes taste so cool, so different. And it was just a nice little, savory-ish fruit to add to a platter. So experiment, you guys, with the different pickling options out there.
I have a recipe. I haven't tried it yet, Kathy, but it's for pickled pineapple.
Ooh.
So we could explore all kinds of opportunities with our pickles. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play this little video. So as I mentioned before, doTERRA has two sources for the pink pepper. One of them is in Kenya, and then this one is Peru. So let me know if you can't hear it, okay?
We know that our village is very far away, but we have been waiting for you anxiously with open arms. Our families are very grateful that you have arrived. The process to harvest pink pepper is simple. We use a pole to shake the berries loose. We collect the berries and let them dry in the sun. We separate and clean the berries using a ventilation technique. Before doTERRA, we weren't harvesting the pink pepper. We are so grateful we have a good buyer now. It has created more jobs for the people in our village. We can now educate our children and buy them clothes.
Pretty, huh? What a beautiful color.
Mhm.
Oops, hang on, it's still going.
How do you pronounce the name of your product?
Hang on one
doTERRA?
doTERRA.
Just Terra?
No, doTERRA.
Oh, doTERRA.
doTERRA.
Thank you.
So I love that little video. It's short and sweet, but isn't it amazing how simple the process is to get those berries out of the tree? And it makes me want to have pink pepper trees because they're so pretty. That's one of my absolute favorite colors. You know what I meant to look up before we started, but what are some of the other uses for pink pepper? Do we know?
Well, I know it's used for breast cancer. I remember hearing that when we learned about it at convention, that it is really good for, I think it was more in a proactive, preventative manner than it was as a necessarily once you have it, but I don't know that that's for sure. It could be good both times, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It does say prevention. It is cancer prevention, excuse me.
Yeah,
And
that's what I thought. I remembered.
great for pain relief as well and circulatory issues.
Yeah. And Kathy, are you adding it to water? I think you said the last time you were putting it in water.
With green mandarin, we tried that at convention because those two oils came out at the same time. And so we started putting it in our water at convention, and I just stuck with it because it's a great little flavor boost to your water. With the green mandarin, it just smells so good and has such a yummy taste. But then the pink pepper has also these wonderful medicinal qualities that all of us women could use.
And it says here that it's like frankincense. It helps to maintain a healthy cellular function. So frankincense is just a remarkable oil because of its anti-inflammatory properties. And I'm so glad that I'm thinking about that right now, because it has been coming up quite a bit for me over the last week or so about how we are dealing with chronic levels of inflammation. And inflammation is the big nasty. It leads to so many of our age-related diseases. As we get older, we're more susceptible to having heart issues and strokes and Alzheimer's, and they all have that basis of being related to inflammation. So anything you can do to help reduce that inflammation, which includes eating your vegetables. So that's one of the reasons why I think that making pickles right now is such an important thing to do. I'm sorry to say that here in Reno, we have to wear our masks again. Kathy, are you wearing masks in California? No. Not yet. Yeah, so we're wearing them here. And, you know, it doesn't matter to me what side of the fence you fall on, whether you want to get a vaccine or you don't, you want to wear a mask or you don't. I think that probably the most important thing that you can do to protect your health is to support your immune function. And so if you're going to be maintaining healthy inflammatory levels and appropriate inflammatory response, that can really go a long way, I think, to keeping you from getting sick. Now, there's no, I haven't heard anything about COVID and its relationship to inflammation, but I bet you, I bet you those people that are chronically inflamed are more susceptible to getting.
Well, I think that the comorbidities that they talk about are, a lot of them have a real root in the inflammatory world. So I think that it probably does play a part, even though you're right, I haven't heard specific conversation about it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I wouldn't either. Well, that is that. That's my little class, short and sweet.
That was great.
Awesome, Wendy.
That was great. And I'm sorry I couldn't cook with you at the last minute today. Life happens, but
yeah, it does.
I'll have a sample.
So Peggy, you have a couple of oils, don't you, that I have left for you a few times?
I have some I bought in the store. I don't have any of your brand.
Well,
sorry to say that.
We have to give you some. We have to give you some. And Mom's got a good little collection of essential oils. Yeah. And
I've tasted some of hers.
Yeah. Well, good. All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for coming. I can't remember the date of the next class, but I think the topic is about emotional health. Is it balancing?
yes, it's a mind, mood, and wellness. Something.
Well,
like that.
thank you so much for your time and efforts.
Thank you. It was lovely to see you.
You did a good job.
Thanks, Wendy.
Great
Thank
job.
you very much. Okay, ladies.
Appreciate it.
Bye,
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Joyce.
Bye. I'll talk to you on the phone.